Now let's turn our attention to an enormous international mission in Haiti that we cooperatives have joined in the aftermath of the massive earthquake that devastated it on January 12th. As the ground rumbled and more than 280,000 buildings and houses broke apart and collapsed, it rained wreckage everywhere. The extent of the human devastation is difficult to comprehend. More than 200,000 people have been killed, and that number is still climbing. At least 3 million have been injured. At least 1 million are homeless, living in tents and shacks constructed from the rubble. But within hours of the quake, even as aftershock timblers continued, the NRECA International Office jumped into action. This is the scene that confronted them from near their office when they started to help. Here today to tell us that story is Myk Manon. He's been an international program director for more than 30 years, helping bring lights to dark villages in Nigeria and Nicaragua and Bolivia, the Philippines, Sudan, El Salvador, the Dominican Republic. He estimates he's worked short periods in another 15 to 20 nations. Myk, please come to the stage and tell us about the role that electric cooperatives are having in this recovery and what co-ops can do to help those poor people.
Thank you, Lou. Good morning, friends, family. My name's Myk Manon, and I work in the International Programs Division. I'm here to present the story of earthquake disaster from NRECA's perspective. For me, it started while I was on leave in the U.S. from Nigeria. Like many of you, I saw the news of the earthquake on Haiti. Same evening, I sent an email to our Arlington office urging them that our expertise could be useful in restoring power to the country. NRECA International immediately put the wheels in motion. The next thing I know, I was on a plane. Getting to Haiti was a challenge in itself. We had to fly to the Dominican Republic first, then find the means to drive to Haiti. Needless to say, scores of people from NRECA put in long hours to make this happen. The initial team of Bud Stanley, Christian Ponce, and I arrived in Port-au-Prince 4 days after the quake. That was a long month ago. In fact, we were the first team in Haiti that was able to assist in restoring the power. We saw people already living in makeshift tents, seeking shelter away from the devastation. As our first day in Haiti drew to a close, we found ourselves sleeping in our truck parked in front of the U.S. Embassy. The mosquitoes ate well that evening. We had tuna and bread. The city was dark, except for a few lights powered by individual backup generators that had somehow survived the quake. The next morning, as we drove through the city, we saw power lines down everywhere. We drove through the rubble from place to place, and we found substations that were damaged as huge transformers were tossed off their bases from the earthquake. The hospitals had no electricity, and backup generators were not working. So that became our first priority. For 2 days, we worked on the out-of-service generators and switchgear before successfully reestablishing electricity to the hospital. Our biggest challenge in working at the hospital was negotiating around the bodies and residue that was deposited on the grounds of the hospital. At times, more than 30 bodies were piled up around us. It is very hard emotionally to work around them. We had to focus on the job at hand. It was difficult to walk. The paving stones were slippery. Allow me to share with you my deepest fear. Don't let me fall. Lord, don't let me fall on the bodies. As important it was to restore power to the hospital and making other repairs, it's been equally important to restore the confidence of our fellow Haitian counterparts in the electrical sector. It involved bringing emergency power to the main office of EDH, the National Power Company, by whatever means was possible. During that time, Jim Walsh from NRECA also joined our team. Now, the teams from NRECA, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and EDH work daily together, and every morning we met to review the conditions of the electrical system, assign tasks, and move a bit closer to the eventual restoration of power to the city. Today, we have about 25% of the city restored with power. Haiti had only 4 operational line trucks at their disposal for all system restoration. All other work was done manually using ladders. This truck was donated to our Hurricane George relief effort in the Dominican Republic 10 years ago. I participated in that also. It was a U.S. cooperative donor that sent the truck and has been a godsend for us in Haiti, where we brought it in to help with the recovery effort. As an American, I'm very proud of how the U.S. government has immediately responded with food aid and security. By the time we arrived, we saw rice and other foodstuffs from America distributed to the people of Haiti. On the other side, our military was continually helping efforts to rescue. In this case, they're taking injured to the floating hospital off the coast. This was a scene taken from our office in the EDH building. Through this calamity, it is a true blessing to see small snippets of normal life starting to resume. Children are especially resilient, and it brings me comfort and hope to see them playing and just being kids. On a personal side, even though I had a job to do and it was important, it's hard to keep your eye on the ball, as Glenn English said in our opening session. The magnitude of personal loss to the Haitians is beyond our grasp. We are looking at 250,000 people have lost their lives. 1 million people are homeless today. Added to the anguish of the survivors, in the back of my mind, I was always thinking about, do I have a place to stay? We had to worry about eating, where to get food. Bathing became somewhat of a concern after close quarters. Washing clothes, another of our concerns, and staying healthy. Our concerns were the same as the Haitians. Shortly after the quake, a destitute woman was rewarded with a dress. She sleeps under rags in an outcropping along the edge of the road in front of our lodging. She's just one of many in the same situation. Every day this site gave me thanks for what I had and gave me a perspective on what I had to do in my daily routine in helping EDH. For me, this effort, earthquake relief, is a full circle of my life's work. 37 years ago, I was in Nicaragua during that country's destructive earthquake. Back then, I was a Peace Corps volunteer working with NRECA that was directing the country's rural electrification program. The years pass, recovery efforts are much more effective today, but the pain is the same and is still very heavy on my heart. The silver lining from that experience almost 4 decades ago is that I met Lupe, my wife of 37 years, who has accompanied me in all of NRECA's adventures around the world. It's wonderful to be part of this NRECA family. Without the generous support from the co-ops and their staff, we would not have been able to respond so quickly to the disaster in Haiti. I would like to express my gratitude particularly to Fritz Joseph, Anthony Jean-Baptiste from EDH, who are my partners in this effort, and I'd also like to thank Jim Walsh and my wife Lupe. Would you please stand? Thank you, folks. This is a great showing for the last day of the convention. I just realized when the lights come on how many people are attending. Thank you for coming. We still need your support. Until the international community comes forward with funding from Haiti, we will continue to need your contributions. So please visit our website at www.nrecafoundation.coop. For those that would like to consider contributions, our staff has folders outside to help with the Haiti relief. Thank you all very much for supporting our efforts in Haiti, and it's been a pleasure and it is a pleasure to be part of the family. Thank you.